What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Movement6, and before we start, a huge thank you to everybody who subbed in the last few weeks. It's a privilege to have you guys on the channel. We're steadily growing, and I'm happy to have you all here. Always enjoying the interactions with you guys. So thank you for that. If you're new here, drop a like, subscribe, hit that notifications buttons, and you will not miss a thing. Now, we really need to talk about Call of Duty because it's a new year, and with a new year we have a new teasers. We have a new live service game that requires you to pay $80 to even play it. But I was watching that trailer. It dropped a bit unexpectedly for me, I guess. I wasn't expecting any teasers for the next few months, but I think Activision is in a state of panic at this point with Black Ops 6 failing massively, and they're now doubling down on Black Ops 7, of course, which means that you've paid $80 for a game that is underserviced, broken, cheaters, skill-based matchmaking, the content actually sucks balls, and now you need to be hyped for Black Ops 7 with a mediocre in-engine rendered clueless trailer. And the last news I've heard is also that they removed Treyarch and let Sledgehammer Games step in for Black Ops 7. So full panic mode there. But guys, what is Call of Duty even nowadays? What is it? What is it? It's not a game anymore for me. It's not. And I've already made a video about it that Call of Duty is not a game. It's not a AAA game anymore. But the essence is, and that's what it's not making a game anymore, is that you're not completely free in the experience you get. You are constantly being manipulated in your experience by skill-based matchmaking, experience-optimized matchmaking, and all these lines of code are designed to manipulate your game. So you are never 100% fully in control, and it really it's designed to let everybody be a winner, right? And that's the mediocre side of this whole game immediately, that if you're too good, you will be punished for that. And Activision is claiming that it is to protect the player base, but player counts are dropping 100%. We all know that. The sweats remain, and lobbies are often infected with cheaters, exploits, and because of the skill-based matchmaking, every match is the same. I can't play Call of Duty for longer, especially the multiplayer, for longer than maybe an hour and a half max. Then I'm really stretching it, but then I'm already getting bored. And if we're looking at the release every year of a new Call of Duty, it's either leaning on the past at best. It is completely absent if we're looking at content. They stripped the game, all the content you had and all the modes is all stripped, and then being fed back on the drip and presented as new content. And when it's completely new content, right, new maps, it's mediocre at best, you know. It charges $80 every year. I think that's the base minimum you need to pay. And it so desperately wants to be seen as a live service platform, and it's mostly designed to sell as many bundles and microtransactions as possible, which will be useless for the most part with the next installments, and eventually you've paid for something that is completely worthless, other than just giving money to Activision to do the same trick next year and repeat that constantly. So for me, Call of Duty has departed from what it once was. It used to be that fun, arcade, casual, quick spawn, die, spawn shooter, and yes, it came from the single player base, but it quickly evolved in the multiplayer standard and an innovator. You know, back in the days it was the innovator, but sometimes I hear people say, yeah, we need to go back to the good old days. No, well, yes and no, because if you now start up a Modern Warfare 1, 2, or 3, or a Black Ops 1 game, and I dare you to do it and then play it, then you will notice that the pace is entirely different. It's off, you know, we're now used to way quicker gameplays, and so I think that returning to the old Call of Duty has got to do with with feeling than anything else. You know, the amount of people I met online, and the lobbies didn't broke up. We all remained in the same lobby, and if you got your ass kicked, you're free to leave and search for another game and get better. You know, that was always, just get better, and then either you enjoy it or not, or otherwise just go away. And the entire declining situation is leading to a year-over-year increase in controversies, player counts dropping, and the community is eventually more divided than ever. And I've let AI collect some important info, and you see a steady trend in the same subject constantly returning every year and being covered by regular media platform, independent channels, and even the channels that are usually considered as being Activision chills, being on the payroll on Activision, also more and more speak out that they don't want to be associated with the game, have trouble with the game, or moving away from the game entirely. So with Black Ops 7 around the corner, it's fair to assess what's in store for us. Based on previous experience, it's not that hard to paint a picture on the questionable artwork that is heading our way. So let's jump into the first prediction, because that one already came out, ladies and gentlemen. The live action or in-engine rendered teaser trailer just dropped. It's a new year, new teaser, and what do we actually see here? It's virtually nothing. And what do we need to be hyped for? And especially with games that drop some kind of a teaser trailer, you can be exceptionally be hyped. But that's only because you haven't. If tomorrow Rocksteady Games would release a new Arkham teaser, then I would be hyped. But this is just the same teaser trailer we're seeing every year, and it's just we're gonna have a Call of Duty, okay, right? We get it, we know, but what is there to be hyped for? Okay, Transit, question mark. In the teaser trailer you will see hints to Transit for zombies, and okay, well, that can be good. Transit was good, but again, we're leaning on the past. The Reaper 1-7 from Black Ops 4 is there, I believe. In the very last shot, you see that cloaking character just uncloak, and then, as far as I can see, it's the Reaper 1-7 from Black Ops 7, and it's other than that, it shows nothing, and the community is, I would say, confused. I think that's what's going on. It's just an ongoing stream of scenes, but it's really getting interesting when you're looking at the ratio of watched versus like versus dislike. It just doesn't add up. If we compare the previous trailers, I hate conspiracy theories, gents. I hate it. But with Activision, I wouldn't be surprised if they're few farming in some kind of a way. Let's look at the numbers. Black Ops 6 had the exact same teaser, reached 19 million views, and Black Ops 7 all of a sudden 39. And if we're looking at previous installment, it's always somewhere between the 10 and the 19 million. And any other exact teaser has even less than Black Ops 7 in that same period. So if we're taking into account the ratio versus likes and dislikes, it really gets weirder, I would say. So the second promise and the second, thing that I think that we're going to see is the overstatement of promises. We all have seen them, the most advanced Call of Duty ever with an unprecedented amount of support. We will see that it's going to be the most immersive and back to the old school feeling, but we all know that the shareholders of Activision are going to double down on exactly the opposite of that. We're going to have the same Call of Duty like we've always had, but just wrapped in another skin. And like a wise man once said, you can put a monkey in a suit, but it's still a monkey, right? And that's the third view I have, is that paid streamers claiming that COD is back. Just like every year, we will see streamers being flown in, and they were able to play the game early, and they're super enthusiastic, and they're allowed to share a few clips and pieces, and those are always the best clips and pieces. And Some people will get 300-400K, and to be fair, let's all be very honest. If somebody would pay you 300-400K, you would also say that the product is absolutely amazing. So we will see. And the next one is and the fourth one: teaser trailers outlining bringing back old maps and modes. And my question is how long does recycling actually work, right? We're bring back new exciting content, new maps, new modes, new ideas, new fresh directions. There are no. You want to make it a live service game? Just bring out Call of Duty once, just like a Fortnite or something with a battle royale and a single player game, and just add content to that constantly. That is what we're looking at. But they're going to bring back old maps, Summit, firing range that we now have in Black Ops 6. We're going to see Summit and Standoff. Fantastic maps. Don't get me wrong, but number 6, round-based zombies. We will see Transit, so I need to be excited, I guess. Same song recycled, but hype for this one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Transit is gonna be fantastic, especially with the new updates in graphical fidelity. I think it's going to be great, but I also think that people are going to be bored quickly, right? The next one is Warzone will meet Blackout, and that could be a good thing. I think that Blackout always has been a better battle royale than Warzone eventually became. We've seen in the trailer that you spawn not with a parachute but with a wingsuit, and that's from Blackout. So my guess is that we're going to see a bit more leaning on a Blackout type of strategy and vision. So which could be good. I think also the map looks like Blackout. So let's see. But it's again for me leaning on what we've already seen, but. Let's see. I know there are a lot of issues with Warzone, and there's some rumors that they're going to abandon it, but I think they're going to mold it a bit more like Blackout. But let's see what's happening there. The next one, the single player turns out to be mediocre at best. They're going to lean on a more open world, and we've seen what that has done with Call of Duty in the past, right? An open world single player campaign, which really didn't work because it's just Warzone made into a campaign, and despite all the hype, despite everything, we will see a single player, but it's going to be mediocre at best. It's yes, it will have the Call of Duty signature with almost the Michael Bay type of style of presenting things, but eventually it will be mediocre at best. I've got nothing much to say about that, but nothing new under the sun, I would say. So the next one, peeps, this is going to be exciting. The launch. You will finally install the game, and you've obviously worked through the alpha and the beta, and you've seen just a few maps, and that's it. And there is nothing new under the sun, but eventually, when it's released, you will have almost zero content, right? It's just a handful of maps, maybe 12. Some are for 2v2, and I think in terms of real 6v6 maps, we will only have maybe 8 or 9, and from which a few ones are already known, so old maps. So I don't think that it's going to be an extremely exciting launch. Again, you will have less content, less modes, and new installments always mean that you strip down what you had, repackage it, and then bring less, and then feeding content on the drip. And that content is usually something we already know. All in updates, you need to be happy. You will have a focus on battle paths. It will be full of glitches, bugs, issues. Cheaters will roam freely again because the anti-cheat is just not working. And what we're also going to see is that they're completely going to double down on skill-based matchmaking, EOMM, and other methods to manipulate your game and giving you less control. You're just being punished for playing good. That's what's going to be, and they're still claiming that it's protecting the player base, but after 4 months we will see that Call of Duty is going to be less and less interesting and dropping in player counts. Future updates, the next one, future updates will bring back old maps. The new content will be received poorly. That's my prediction, and we've seen this over and over again, right? Activision will double down on the use of AI. We will see more six fingers clowns or Santa Clauses passing by, they will be caught red-handed. We will continue to develop skins, blueprints, banners, and maps via AI. You will be priced enormously for that. It will be horrible. But people are going to buy it. There are people out there that are just ignorant and that are going to buy it and sponsor Activision. And last but not least, and this is something I really want to emphasize here, the game is going to be developed for previous generation in consoles. And that's just Activision being greedy all over the place. They want to develop it for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 as well, and that means that technically the game will be held back because you can't invest in that short period of time in really having two development teams building that game from the ground up to fully unlock the power of the platform you're working with. They built for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and then actually upgrade the fidelity for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and PC. The base fundamentals need to run flawlessly on previous generations of consoles. And how old is that? We're already talking about, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, maybe even 14-year-old hardware. Get over it. Move on. And this whole package of these short predictions I have is I'm not looking forward to the next installment. And it hurts. It really hurts to see one of my favorite franchises going into a direction it should not be in. Call of Duty completely forgot who it is, where it came from, and it has no idea what direction to go in. And instead of staying true to yourself, it's constantly looking at other games. It's looking at Fortnite even. It's looking at Battlefield. It's looking at Battle Royales. It's just copy and pasting what other people are doing. And now with all the competition surrounding me, I'm playing Rainbow Six Siege X, the new update. I think the entire new game and how it's overhauled is so good now with the new audio and some of the new visuals left and right and how it plays. If you haven't played Rainbow Six Siege, you can download it now for free and you can already taste the free modes to see what it is and how the mechanics works. I invite you all to come over and eventually buy the game and push forward into ranked. Battlefield is going to come out, and I think everybody's hyped for that to see what Battlefield is going to store and if they will fix the 2042 issues we've seen in that Battlefield installment. So there are a lot of issues and dangers roaming on the horizon, and GTA 6 has been pushed out to next year, but we all know that the player count is going to drop to almost zero when GTA 6 is coming out. So what are predictions that you guys have? I'm just curious, and I'm asking you, what is your take on the franchise direction and the overall state? Are you hyped? Are you going to play it? And if you are going to buy it, good news is I'm playing a lot on PlayStation 5, but I still have Game Pass Ultimate on my Xbox and PC. So I will try Call of Duty, but it's only costing me €14 a month, so that's good. I'm really enthusiastic to see what your opinions is, peeps. If I'm always looking forward to hearing all your opinions. For now, this was just my short take on where Call of Duty is and where it stands, and I see you all on the battlefield, I guess. Movement 6 out.
Something stinks around here. I couldn't put my finger on it, but now the company's compromised.